are not, familiar with you, there's a lot of people that are going to be watching this that have not even joined the Isagenix family yet. There's some people that are just getting started, probably like today's their first day in Isagenix, and then we have our, OGs in this group that have been using it for years and years. We have people who just eat the food, the incredible nutrition, and are transforming themselves physically. We have people that are eating for free. We have people that are doing supplemental income. We have six-figure earners in this group, people that have accumulated seven figures in Isagenix. So really across the board of the whole mission and vision of Isagenix. So welcome. And I would just first love for, kind of you to share your story. But you guys, when I came into Isagenix, Erik was really just getting involved in the company. And, the start movement then came out from you, Erik. And it's just, I watched you and Peta, and, you guys get married and then have your first little baby soul. And now, second one on the way. But it's, you just embody the entire ISA life. And I'm in such gratitude for you and everything that you do for us. So Erik, welcome, and just share your story with us. How'd you join the ISA family?
All right. Well, Casey, thank you so much for having me on. It's an honor to be on this call and this Facebook Live with everybody. I want to thank you for your leadership and your, consistency, your passion over the years. It's people like you that make Isagenix great. And I'm just so thankful to be a part of this culture and aligned with this mission, with somebody like you and everybody on this Facebook Live. It's, we really have a special gift here, whether you're just discovering that, it might be your first day, or whether you've been with Isagenix for a number of years. It's kind of like the deeper you get and the more involved you get, you realize the more grateful you get and the better it gets. So, which is rare. But my kind of journey isn't quite common in most people's Isagenix journeys. I've got a unique one. My parents actually co-founded Isagenix 17 years ago. And so I've been around this company literally since it started. Now, when it first started, I was 14 years old. And so I was, in a much different part of my life when I was 14. I was actually pursuing a career in professional golf. That was my passion, literally from when I was 8 years old to 22 years old. That was what I wanted to do. It was my whole life. And I was kind of, I was rebellious. I was stubborn when I was 14 years old. And my poor parents were starting Isagenix. And for 3 years, I used to bring home products from other companies to try to tick them off, like my big weight gainer 12,000s that you get at GNC and all these places. That's what I brought home, and I did that for 3 years. And I think it was a bit of a result of, I had watched kind of my parents involved in this profession of network marketing for a lot of years. My dad's been in this industry of network marketing for like 35 years. My mom, like 28 years or something like that. And, they were such incredible believers in the profession, but they never really felt like they could align themselves with a company that really like 100% got it and totally matched their core values. And they just kind of always had that little feeling in their stomach, like, is this going to be here in the next 5 years? Or is this like, and they just didn't have that sense of security 100% like they wanted. My mom rose to the top of 3 separate network marketing companies before Isagenix as a distributor. My dad did a ton of consulting for other network marketing companies, was the executive vice president for a very fast growing company back in the late 80s, early 90s. And so they learned a lot through those experiences. But at the end of the day, like my dad, when he was consulting for companies, he would kind of, we relocated our family and had to move, and he'd do consulting for like 5-6 months and realize, man, the people that are at the helm of these companies just don't get it. Like they don't like really have the person's best interest in mind. And that really frustrated him. And then we would have to uproot our family. He'd go consult for somebody else. And my mom, was a distributor in some other companies, but she experienced some hardship in those companies. There was a company that got shut down by the FTC that she went to the top of. There was a company that went out of business. It was a travel company, and it went out of business when 9/11 happened. And so it was just, my parents went through a lot, have been through a ton in this profession. And so when they started Isagenix, I was kind of just the product of what I had seen my parents kind of go through. And so that's why I think when I was young, in my mind, this was just another company when they started it that, wasn't going to work, that we were just going to have to uproot our family again and move. And so I think that's why I rebelled at a young age for 3 years. But, actually 4 years went by. Isagenix was still here, and I was entering college. And I saw many of my friends, my best friend in particular, putting on a significant amount of weight going into their college days. And, if you're not careful, you can put on the freshman 15, sometimes freshman 20, 30, 40 if you're not careful. People get on that pizza and beer diet, which tends to be a very fun diet, but not the healthiest diet that you can be on when you're going through college. And it was kind of in that moment where I saw my best friend, he was a year older than me, start putting on all this weight. And I realized that when I go to school, I need to have like a foundation for wellness that I can really count on while I go through school. And it'll really allow me to stay healthy and allow me to think clearly and be convenient at the same time, because, when you leave home and you go to school, your foundation or what was your foundation for wellness? For me, it was my mom's home cooking. That used to be my foundation for wellness. But when you move away from school or move away from home, that foundation goes out the window and you're on your own. And if you're not careful, your foundation can become pizza, beer, top ramen, anything fast, cheap that college students can afford. And so my foundation when I started school just became Isagenix. I could count on getting 2 shakes in my body in addition to, 2 healthy meals every single day. And I didn't have to worry though about because college also is about having pizza and beer sometimes and going out and having fun and not have to worry about putting on the freshman 15, 20, 30, or 40. And so because I had a rock solid foundation, and that was kind of my common denominator. So I don't have to worry about, getting that off track. So that's when my product experience really started to form, and I started falling in love with the products. I was able to put on about 15 pounds of lean muscle mass through a 4-year span of time while I was going through school. Mental clarity. I was a golfer, and so, helped me on the golf course big time. But then after going into my junior year of university, my parents sat me down and said, "We want to support you in pursuing your career of professional golf. We're totally behind you, but when you graduate, just know that you're going to be on your own. We're not going to sponsor you and pay for your travel and your expenses. You're going to have to figure it out yourself and go find sponsors or sponsor yourself." And so, but they said, "Look, we've got, you've already got a great product experience, and we've got this incredible asset of Isagenix. Why don't you take a look at building an Isagenix business, and start looking around at some of your teammates who you're going to school with, who are into health, that are kind of sports minded, that are looking for additional streams of income. And you can build an Isagenix business. You got 2 years left, so that when you graduate, you'll be in an amazing spot where you've got enough income coming in where you can go sponsor yourself and you can go pursue your dream of playing professional golf, because that's your dream." And so they kind of casted the vision about what my life could look like if I just really applied myself and went to work. And that's when Isagenix really started to make sense for me. And they just kind of said, "Look, go to work now to be able to get a life that you really want later on." And that's what Isagenix is for so many people. It's just a vehicle that allows you to create a life that you ultimately really can get excited about, whether that's, that could be an extra $1,000 every single month. That could look like retiring your spouse. That could look like starting a different business that you've always had a dream to start, whatever it is, for me, it was golf. And so that's when Isogenics made sense. And they also said, if you want to join us later on in your life in Isogenics, I know you don't want to now, you're doing golf and that's great. But if things change and you want to join us later on in your life, you have to build a business first. You have to know what an associate goes through and be in the trenches and build a team. And I think that's one of the unique things about my parents, that they've been in your shoes and they wanted that same experience for me. And I think, and my mom, as soon as, we had this conversation, she challenged me, just like she challenges everybody, to make a list of my 20 most motivated, passionate young people that I was going to school with. And, just start calling these people. Social media, Facebook was like just starting to kind of become a thing. It wasn't even really a thing. It was just people were starting to hear about it. So it wasn't really how you built. It was more old school, making calls to people. We used to host a Tuesday night meeting in our apartment complex every Tuesday night and just share about the products, what this could do for young people. And that's when my juices really started going for young people. And I really saw the need for, I graduated in 2009 when the economy, obviously took one of the biggest tanks that's ever gone through. And people were graduating with great degrees and they could not find jobs. All they could find was like a part-time bartending job. And so that's when the business, we were really starting to talk heavily about creating income and creating wealth for yourself at a young age. So you didn't have to deal with so much of the hardship, not only of paying off your student loans, but also of just trying to find a job in 2009 in that environment. And so that's kind of when my passion for young people started going. And again, that was about 12 years ago. And by the time I graduated, I was in a position where I had built a significant Isogenics business, and I could go sponsor myself if I chose to with golf. But I was getting really burnt out of golf. I was realizing that it wasn't really going to be my path. And that's when I decided to join kind of the corporate side of Isogenics back in 2010. But still then I was extremely scared. I knew my parents were amazing people. I was like, they're very big shoes to fill, filling in my mom and dad's shoes and kind of stepping into, who they are. And I put a lot of pressure on myself for the longest time. And I was actually very hesitant to kind of really commit because of that. But it wasn't really until I got entrenched in our culture that we have. And I think that's the thing that I'm proudest of when I think about Isogenics. I think it's, we have unbelievable products that are life-changing. We have this incredible vehicle for people to create income for themselves. But the culture, you just can't find it anywhere else. It's just like, it brings the best out of people. When you get in that environment, like when I got in that environment, I could just like be my imperfect, like weird self and be embraced for it and contribute in my own unique way. And everybody would just love you for it and for your imperfection. And that was when I just fell in love with this company. And from the very beginning, I knew my contribution was going to be initially with young people, because I was young. I was 22 years old at the time. And at the time, we didn't have hardly any young people in Isogenics. And that's when we started the Start Your Life movement about almost 8 years ago now. And it literally became the fastest growing segment of the company. And it's just all about young people taking ownership of their life physically and financially, but, really leading lives of significance and contribution and really giving back. That's what it's really been founded on, is just like getting people together to contribute to society and, give back their time, their money, their resources. And I think that's why it's been sustainable, over time. You see a lot of companies in this profession kind of try to lure young people in with materialistic things, with flashy cars and, all these programs. But that ultimately, that gets people excited for about a week. And and the new car is not that exciting anymore. But, fulfillment comes from, helping other people and giving back. And I think that's why when you look around at these young people, it's like, these are young people that I really want to be affiliated with. And like, I'm so proud to be a part of. And to me, it represents the legacy of Isagenix. This company is so much bigger than my parents, than me, than any of us. If you aren't mobilizing the next generation of leaders, this Gen Z and millennials, then you don't have a legacy company. And so to me, it's kind of the Start Your Life movement's become a home for people who really want to create a legacy. And it's the legacy of Isagenix in action every day. So.
I love it. My favorite is your start move when we do the share your shot and folks go up and fun, and that being a core value. So, when you talk about that legacy, too, and just people, what I have seen in Isagenix, Erik, and what is your title? What is your title now in Isagenix? I just, it's like Erik Coover. Yes.
I don't even know. It's my official title is, I want to be like the global ambassador of the ISA life. I like that title.
All right, we'll go global ambassador of the ISA life. And what you speak upon, like the community, and like being a custodian of the culture. I've heard you talk about that as well too. And your dad saying, son, like if there's one thing that you choose, I don't care what position you take in here, but to be that custodian of the culture, and because it really is about people, and that's what I've seen in this community. My sister, she's down 122 pounds, like in Isagenix. My mom's been able to do a supplement to where we've been able to retire her 8 years early, from a job. My nephew has his mom back, has present family members, and people have their health to be able to live life and to give back. And just to share this story with you too, I just got back from Naples, Florida yesterday with a woman on our team, Karen, and her husband, Philip. And I went to their church, and all their pastors are having these life transformational results, and to where their kids are, 50, 30, 20 pounds down to where they're over 100 pounds. So now they have their help to go serve on these mission trips that they're being called to do. And so to be able to marry the health aspect and the income aspect, and what you said too about all that flash, what I've learned is people do, I think even PETA started this hashtag, earn more to give more, and that aspect, and that ripple effect, and the ISA Foundation. Really good friends too with Steve and Stephanie, who are really part of the Serve organization that I've watched Isagenix give, I think, a couple $100,000 to. I know at least $100,000, but it's that's mind blowing. And I was part of Make-A-Wish Foundation, as a nurse for kids with cancer. And then that's, what I saw you guys do too. And so I've seen everything that you're sharing. I just, the story after story after story in my mind. And when we were talking about people and their dreams and their goals on the income side, it was but then how many lives does that look like impacted? And to me, that's the Isagenix difference. And when I always think truly at the heart of the Isagenix difference, it's the people, and it's the corporate, it's your mom and dad, and that foundation that they started. And John Anderson, his foundation. We had Bill Andrews in here, speaking to John Anderson's brilliance. And, I know that Dr. Plant, we're working on him coming into our group too. Could you just talk a little bit maybe about too on the corporate side and what you see going to work? And I'll say this, we were leaving the Bahamas for the last event there, and I got Travis Ogden thought he was done with the event, but he was sitting next to me on the plane. He was just getting started. That was a 2-hour flight, boy. And he said, with all just being in a corporate world, that he's never seen integrity behind closed doors like he has seen in Isagenix. What they say, and just that integrity just so transparent. And so, but yeah, just talk a little bit on that corporate side of what, what you guys are up to, and Dr. Plant, and just, I know some amazing changes, because innovation is one of the core values of Isagenix. So just anything you want to share on that.
Yeah, well, look, first I'll say that what is about to happen over the next 6 months in terms of innovative product launches coming to market rapidly, I've never seen it like a next 6 months like I've seen ever in the history of Isagenix. Like these next 6 months are going to look like. I mean, we just introduced some new AMP products. I know last week, October 8th, mark your calendar, October 8th, something huge is coming to Isagenix that we're all very, very, very excited about. And then watch out for November. We got some serious stuff coming in November. And even in December, January, I mean, literally, it's like every month you're going to see this innovation and excitement coming to Isagenix. So I kind of teased it a few months ago, saying, look, just buckle up, buckle your seatbelt, because it's about to get exciting. Now, getting to that point, though, I would say that the last 12 to 18 months have been some of the most challenging months that we've ever faced in our 17 years of Isagenix. We went through a time where I've seen this company go through just ridiculous momentum growth, exciting times. I've seen it go through very challenging times, crazy, chaotic times. And it's just, that's business. That is like what every business, that stands the test of time. All businesses go through very times where they face adversity. They go through incredible, amazing times. That's just life. And it's similar to, all of your Isagenix business. Your Isagenix business is going to go through times where it's like, this is like feels like a rocket ship, and other times it's going to go through times where you're like banging your head against the wall, and it's just normal in every business. And I would say in the last 18 months, it's been one of the most challenging times, but from that challenge, I've never seen more healthy change happen in the company. Nothing really, like, you don't really learn a whole lot when your company's just exploding and going through explosive growth. All you're trying to do in those times is just keep up, is just trying to make sure that you got enough product, to fulfill the orders, and, you're paying your checks out on time, and you're just trying to hold on, and you're trying to hire people and resources. But you don't really learn a whole lot, and you can actually get away with some poor decisions during those times. But it's in the times of adversity where you really got to make some tough decisions, and you really have to hone in and focus on your core and what really drives the business. And I've never seen that more apparent. That's what's happened in the last 12 months. And it's been tough, but man, I'm telling you, what you're going to start to see in the next 6 months is the fruits of some of those tough decisions and that hyper focus. Obviously, I know, Casey, you got introduced to Dr. Josh Plant in the Bahamas, and I remember, sitting in the room when he spoke, and I think that was one of the most powerful 30 minutes I've ever experienced in Isagenix. And I know people got a big taste of that at Celebration if you were in Nashville. But he's one of the most talented people that I've ever come across. And when we're on phone calls or on Zoom meetings like this, or in executive meetings, I literally, so many times I've said, is this freaking guy for real? I mean, he is unbelievable. Like, what used to take us a lot of time to go to market with certain things, his leadership and his team is executing in half the time. And it is, it's just, and that's why you're starting to see things come so quickly and rapidly. We've recently brought on somebody, Lori Berger, who's so committed to upgrading our marketing. There's three main things that we're really focused on as a as a company. One is product innovation, bringing new products to market quickly, but also upgrading and taking a look at our core products and say, with advances in technology and in science, how do we make our shake, cleanse, ionics, all the core business that drive the company, how do we make them even better? So you're going to start to see some incredible enhancements with just our core products that we have in 2020. In addition to new product innovation, new products coming, which you're going to see literally, within the next few weeks. So that's one focus, product innovation and upgrading our current products. Number two is upgrading our marketing, making sure that our marketing is so on point and on trend. And this is an area of opportunity where I feel like in the past we've been weak. I think that we all know the stories of Isagenix and how powerful what the ingredients that are in the products and everything. And when you come to our events, you see the culture and you see the mission and you see the feeling and the empowerment. But unless you come to that, if you're an outsider just looking at our website or you're looking at our product packaging, you don't get any sense of that. And I think that in the past, we've come across as looking a bit pharmaceutical, a bit clinical, not a whole lot of emotion. I'm just talking about our digital assets and like our packaging. So what you're going to start to see in 2020 is not only our digital assets with our website, but our packaging start to look so much more like what's actually in the product is going to meet and look like the look and feel of our overall system. So it's going to look, very close to nature, organic, from the earth, like that real clean feel, modern feel. And so that's going to be very, very exciting and obviously empower and help everybody share the message of Isagenix. Because people are either, when they're looking at your packaging, your website, they're either immediately leaning in because it looks like it aligns to what they would take, or they're immediately backing away, say, no way, that doesn't look like it's for me. And so that's a big opportunity. That's number two priority in the company. Number three is upgrading our mobile and IT infrastructure to make our customer and user experience a lot more user-friendly, quicker, faster. You have to do that in order to survive in this day and age, and we have a lot of work to do there. So those are the three areas, and the only three areas that we're pouring all of our time, money, resources into as far as a corporation.
Love it. And with talking about that too, I remember I loved watching the video that you and Peta did about the new wings coming onto Isagenix. And just about how it can, I think that so often, with the products, people, they don't realize how close to nature. And it's, how one of my favorite questions too was when they were asking the science panel at the event was, well, how are you going to get, a full, whole plated meal? How is a shake even, how is a shake going to give you that? And if you've really been in Isagenix for a while and heard all the science and all the research, it's like, there's no way that whole plated meal could have what's been enhanced from the earth, like just, from the digestive enzymes, amino acids, oh my gosh, now probiotics, it's just like the prebiotic, just everything that Isagenix does. And I just, is this official, this little, this thing going to be a natural flavor? That's what we all want to know, or a consistent.
Oh, it's coming. Yeah, it's coming. We heard everybody loud and clear there. That's gonna,
I had somebody there like, can you please just ask Erik and confirm that I am going to be able to get peach mango cleanse at absolutely any time? What would you say, Erik, that's so exciting, all those key focus areas, because there's so many people that are on their hands and knees praying for a solution. And, as long as we do our part and have it there for them, for when they're ready, they get to say yes and make those. So what would you say for, there's an event coming up, and it is in DC, so right outside of DC. We got a lot of East Coasters up in this group that we're in right now, and it's with your boy, David. So David, I know, is your best man, also in your wedding. If you, for anybody who, even if you're not even in Isagenix yet, but you want to take a look, even if you know you're somebody and you're brand new, or you've been in, or you feel stagnant with your health, like what you were talking about, like peaks and valleys with businesses, people have that too with their, you know, all aspects of our health, right? Physical, emotional, spiritual, all of that. What could you say that somebody could expect to walk away? For sure, if you're somebody that's, you know, also doing this opportunity side, but just for anybody, what could you speak to? I know that you guys just had one in London, and I have a team over there, and they messaged me and they said they couldn't believe it, from all these other events or people that had been in other, you know, companies too. And I mean, it was just mind blowing. So just touch a little bit on that for me.
Well, first I will say that you will never experience a better event, a better Isagenix event than University in Action. It is, I mean, in terms of experiencing not only the culture, but I mean, you could show up to that event and have no interest in Isagenix and walk out of that door and be like, that was some of the greatest, most valuable training I've ever experienced in my entire life. I mean, it will just completely change your perspective and life if you attend, regardless if you want to do Isagenix or not. Like that is the power of David T.S. Wood. We're so fortunate to have him a part of Isagenix, shaping this culture and this company for the last 15 and a half years. He's been a part of this company. And I mean, it's just, I will say that you just can't miss it. I mean, if it's in DC, if it's in your area, you cannot miss. If you're serious about building, especially if you're serious about building an Isagenix business, you can't miss it. And, but more importantly, I would say that how many people, if you're going, that's amazing, but how many people on your team that you know are coming with you? Because you're going to sit there at that event and you'll be 2 hours in and you'll be like, I cannot believe I didn't do more to get more people here. Like, it is that good. I mean, just the first night is like, the first night you'll be like, this is some of the greatest training I've ever experienced. I mean, I'm fresh off one 2 weeks ago, and I've been to a lot of University in Actions, and I was sitting in that one. I was like, this is probably the best event I've ever seen. I mean, it was so good. But I think you'll come out of there he really goes to work on your different belief levels, not only in Isagenix, but in, you know, network marketing and the products and the compensation plan, but really in yourself. And belief, we have to have belief. If we don't have belief in what we're doing, what we're talking about, then nobody's going to join us. I mean, we have to, you know, raise our belief level in what we're doing. You know, the people who are growing fast in Isagenix, people always ask me, what are they doing? And it's not that they're saying anything much different or doing anything a whole lot different than what you hear all the time. It's just that they're 100% living in conviction of what they're doing and what they're talking about. And that's why they're just a magnet and people want to join them. And that's what you get from this event, 100%. But David also really teaches the art of connection. And so many of the things that, the issues that people have when they first join Isagenix and when they want to do the business, they have an issue just talking to people and connecting with people and about Isagenix or just in general. And I think David is a master at teaching people to be comfortable with how to just authentically connect with people. And that training is, you know, again, whether you're in Isagenix or not in Isagenix, you could show up and be like, this is, for the price of this ticket, I mean, I would pay just like so much more because of the value that I'm getting than what this price point of this actual ticket is. It's crazy. But I will tell you that please just do everything you can to get people to that event, because you'll kick yourself if you don't do as much as you could have to get people to that event.
I'm bringing that literally I have people come in that are not even in Isagenix, and even if they never decided to do Isagenix, every single area of their life is going to be absolutely transformed, because people are at the heart. Belief is at the heart of anything that we do in this life. Relationships with your closest people, relationships with your spouse, with your family, like all of those things. And like that to me is also like part of the mission of Isagenix, right? Is making a relationship, because that's what's going to make the world better. Like, that's a rippling effect then for all businesses out there, for anything that somebody's involved in. So I'm so excited about that event. But I agree with you. I mean, for you to say that it is the best event that Isagenix does, that's a pretty big statement. And I feel the exact same way. And that's what I have been saying as well, too. So
it is. I will put money on it. Like if I put money on it, if you go to that event and you've been in Isagenix or not, you'll be like, that was the best Isagenix event I've ever attended. You will. I mean, you will.
There's just no question about it. So what is there, if you were going to give somebody that is not even on Isagenix yet, or it's like, oh, I don't know, that's, maybe not even for me, but they're, maybe they've tried a ton of other things, or they're just looking, even let's just say from a product standpoint or opportunity, what's just one thing that you would say to them of just like a what if or anything?
I would just say, if not this, then what? I mean, if you've been looking for a health transformation, if you've been looking for, some great people to meet, if you've been looking for an additional stream of income, if this isn't it, then what? If things are to go exactly the way that they've gone, for up until this point for the next 5-10 years, are you really, do you feel good about that? And if not, then step one is just putting the products in your body. I mean, that's everybody's step one. And I will say that the company, that's why we have a 30-day money back guarantee, is that if you don't literally feel a difference within 30 days, I mean, we usually say just give it 4, 5, 6 days and you're going to feel different. But if you don't, and that's cool, we'll send you your money back. But step one is always just putting the product in your body. I mean, I hear so many people that put their product in their body reluctantly, so skeptically, with the intention that they just wanted to prove their friend and the company wrong. Like they were like, all right, I'm just going to do it because I want to prove you wrong. And literally within 4 or 5 days, they were like, what is going on? This is really working. So I think that first product experience is so critical. And if you just want to be an active customer in Isagenix, then that's amazing. We have 85 to 87% of all the people that are in Isagenix, they just take the product and that's all they do. And that's great. And that's the sign of a healthy long-term business, when you got real customers that are taking the product every single month, regardless of they're making any money or not. That's a real business. Now, if you take the product and you start getting some results and want to go share with people, so people start asking what you're doing, we've got an avenue, where you can start becoming a product sharer and earn an extra $50, $100, $200 every single week or every single month. And start getting your products for free, get them paid for, and it can be such a nice supplemental stream of income alongside of what you're already doing. In a world where people are looking every single day for additional streams of income, whether it be through driving Uber, selling things on Amazon, eBay, Airbnb in their house out, people are constantly looking for additional streams of income. This profession of network marketing has been one of the greatest additional streams of income opportunities for a long time. And especially if you've got a product line that you really deeply believe in and love, it makes it fun. And we're so good at doing this every single day with things that we love anyway, whether it be like in the US, I am obsessed with Whole Foods. I go to Whole Foods all the time. I have told so many people about Whole Foods and told them to shop there and told them I got this at Whole Foods. And I've sent a ton of people to Whole Foods. And Whole Foods has never once sent me a check saying, thank you so much for sending this person to Whole Foods. And I'm okay with that because that's traditional business. But now Isagenix has got this product line, that will actually pay you for referring people to. And so that's how the business model works. So Isagenix is not for everybody, and that's cool. But I guess people are never going to know unless they put the products in their body and they really see for themselves. That's always step one.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Well, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I know that you are a productive life changer that is constantly on the go, and all that you do for us, it blows my mind knowing that we have this $7 billion company, all over the globe. With you, your mom and dad, oh my gosh, Dr. Plant, Travis, just everybody at the corporate side that does so much so that we can help people have their optimal health, create extra income if that's something they want to do, and absolutely transform relationships and transform lives and just bring out the best in people. So Erik, I'm so excited. I know I'm going to be over in the London side with some team over there for an ICU coming up. So I'm so excited. I call them Team Unicorn. Did you know that the official animal of Scotland was a unicorn?
I did not know that. Learn new things every day living here in the
I'm calling them Team Unicorn. They're so fun. So can't wait to be over there. And I know that that's when maybe your second baby will be due near then. So I'm so excited for you on that. But just thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for everything that you do, and just the consistency that you provide for all the infrastructure, and being the global ambassador for living the ISA life. That is what I'm talking about. So you guys, let's just all some hearts and loves. You're getting so much love on the feed. I can see it here in the group, and so much. So just thank you so much. You have people that are just absolutely pinching themselves every single Monday, lives that are being changed. We have people that have gone part-time on here. We have moms that, oh my gosh, have used this product throughout their entire pregnancy. We have so many ISA babies up in here. We're super excited about the ISA kids. So just so much love that's going on up in here.
Thank you. That's honestly, hearing stories like that, reading those comments, getting on the phone and talking to people, coming to events and hearing people's stories. That's why we do what we do. Especially my parents, they don't have to be doing this. Like they could have retired long ago, but they just don't ever want to because of how good that feels. Like it feels so good to hear all the stories, and that reading the comments and hearing the stories, that is like fuel for our souls. And so I'm just so grateful for, hearing all that, and just the lives that are being impacted from all of our collective energy, being just such a force for good in the world. So we got a lot to look forward to.
We do, you guys. This is Erik. So somebody's going to be just leading us forward. Who also too. Just real quick before we go to, you just got back from Harvard Business, right? So you went to Harvard Business, and after you went to Harvard Business, you came back, and I saw a shift in this company. I saw a shift, and I know it was from what you have brought back, just from all of that. And so what was that like though, going there? And then we'll kind of.
Yeah, well, it was one of the most challenging things and intense things I've ever done in my whole life. And basically it's a 2-year MBA program, basically condensed into 7 months. As a part of their executive education program. And it's people from, there was about 160 people going through the program from 40 different countries. So, it was like sitting in the United Nations. There was just so many different cultures and backgrounds and industries. I was the only person among the 160 in network marketing, representing a network marketing company. But I got to live with 9 people. They're called your living group, that you stay in the dorms with, and you really get close with these people, just brilliant people. And as a part of the program, you have to do what's called a personal case about anything. It could be about a new business venture. It could be about your current company. It could be about anything. And you go through this whole thing, and then you get direct living group feedback from your living group the whole time. And so, of course, I did my personal case on Isagenix, and you have to identify like a performance gap that the company's kind of facing, and identify that. And then basically you present, and then your living group gives you feedback. And I will say that the feedback that I received from that living group was so valuable, because these are people that, one, are brilliant, two, they're not being paid, they're unbiased, they don't like, they're unpassionate about Isagenix. So like they learn to love Isagenix because of being around me all the time, but they don't really care. Like, so they're not afraid to say exactly what you need to hear. And so, and getting that feedback was massive. And so much of the feedback that as soon as I got done with the personal case and got done with the whole program, we met as a team. We had pulled our whole large portion of our marketing team in, and I gave them the direct feedback that this group had given us, and it was impactful. That's for sure. And so, much of the stuff that we're starting to do and move in this direction came from a lot of that living group feedback. So that was just one element of the program. I mean, we had to go in and reinvent we had to take a $30 billion a year company and basically reinvent their business model and present it to their executive team over a 3-month time period. It was just like that, and that was another part of the program, but it was just insane. But it was a lot of fun. It was challenging, and it was cool because it just, like, when you put yourself in a place where you're like so outside your comfort zone, because over the last 10 years, there was a time in my life where when I was first starting in Isagenix, it was so uncomfortable for me to just get on a Zoom call and do something like this. It was like, I was so nervous. And then I got so nervous, speaking on stage for the first time. And then, it's just like, you just grow so much in this company. But to have an experience where I literally kind of got to take a break from Isagenix and place myself in an environment that was so different and so unique, and it was really outside my comfort zone, just the stuff that came from that was awesome. Saying that, if I had to do that 7 months in one day, I don't know if I could have done it. It was so, like, between Isagenix and that and having a new family, it was a lot, but I'm glad I did it.
Oh, and that's just, again, like that kind of gratitude, like willing, like even with, my gosh, a new family, your wife and a new child, and then to, go and take that time, and it's a choice, right? That's not even like had to be done, but like that kind of commitment to doing what is absolutely best for innovation, and continuous transformation as the company is continuing to live and breathe and grow. So just thank you so much for all your dedication, Erik. We love you. We're so grateful for you, and just looking forward to next time we get to see you. And hopefully, I think that will be pretty soon for me, but for everybody else. So we're so grateful. Thank you for this time today, my friend.
Thanks, Casey, so much. Thanks, everyone, for jumping on.
Absolutely. Getting so much love. So,
good.
All right. Bye, guys. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks again, Erik.
Of course.
Have a great week.
Will do. See ya.